Hey everyone, Pastor Matt from Susquehanna Valley Church. Again, we're talking to you about what to do when life is unpredictable. We've been comparing it to two things. One, the life of Jacob and what God calls him to do, to go visit his son in a place where he's fearing his life. And number two, we've been comparing it to traditional archery, where we talked about to be great, to be consistent, you want to do the same thing over and over again. You want to have a process. So I want to walk you through kind of those two things merged together, where we pick up the bow and we remember the status of God, that he is God. And that's the first thing we remind ourselves in times when life is uncertain. Then we grab the string and we put our hands right where we want them. And that is to remember what God has done throughout his history, throughout my history in my own life. And then we're going to draw it back and we're going to anchor. And that's going to be a time where we remember the disposition, that we're not to be afraid. We continue through that process of not only we're not afraid, but we also remember the promises of God. We remember his presence. And we remember that we've got a destiny. And we go through all those things the same way each time to remind ourselves that there's reason for me to have confidence in God, even though I don't know what tomorrow's about. The last thing I want to talk to you about is really about this idea of just releasing and letting go, letting the arrow fly. And that's the idea that when you include all these things and you look at them, and you look at the fact that God's status is still the same. He's got a history that speaks for itself. He's got a disposition he wants us to have. He's got a presence, a promise, and a destiny. What you understand is that throughout it all is God's got a purpose that involves us. That he's got a plan, and his plan involves us. God is always wanting to use people who are trusting him to do some incredible things in life, and that's letting it go, of saying, God, I understand that you've got plans here, and those plans thankfully involve me. I want to be a part of it. I want my purpose to coincide with yours, and so I'm going to let go of the anxiety and the fear I have, and I'm going to say, God, I want to see the purpose that you have for all of history also be the purpose that I have for my life. I want to join and merge my purpose with yours, and I want to see what happens when we let arrows fly and we follow after you when we don't know what's going to happen. Hey, at Susquehanna Valley Church, we've got a saying, we expect God to do great things because he always has. I believe that 100%. You know what the best thing is? When you find that out for yourself. When you are the person who says, I expect God to do great things because he always has, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do through me. We'd love to hear your stories. If you want to post them in the comments below, that would be incredible. Thanks for checking in.